I.S.U.P.K.
All I'm going to tell you, man, if you want to stay plugged in and tuned in, make sure you subscribe to I.S.U.P.K. on YouTube. A lot of powerful information will be coming out this summer, and you want to stay tuned in. The minute they drop it, it's coming right to you, baby, as soon as you subscribe. So make sure you handle that business and subscribe to I.S.U.P.K.
Now, brotherhood is such an important topic, all right, because of the current events, the latest events that's been going on in the country. It's also been happening to our people, meaning the 12 tribes of Israel. Each of us are, getting a turn at injustice in this society, in this world. And right now, I.S.U.P.K brothers and sisters are going through it. And it's important that we remain steadfast with them through their time of peril. So right now, we're going to get into this lesson. The first scripture is going to be Mark 12 and 28. All right, so this is Mark 12 and 28. It reads, "And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he answered them, saying, Salakia, that he had answered them well, asking him, which is the first commandment of all?" So one of the scribes, all right, came to Christ and asked Christ, all right, Christ, so what's the best commandment of all? Okay, so 29. And Jesus answered him, "The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord." So he told him, we as Israelites have one God. And it's such a heavy statement because that one God gave his instructions to one people. And there are curses and blessings that goes along with these instructions. If we don't keep them, certain curses will befall us. But if we do keep them, certain blessings will follow us in our lives. And then 30. "And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment, is to love the Lord with all your heart, all your strength, all your mind." So everything you got in you, man. When you wake up in the morning, you say that prayer, that you give that blessing, all right? You thank the Lord for another day of breath, in this society, in this hell, because it's another day that we have an opportunity to call our brothers out of this. Verse 31. "And the second is like, namely this, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these." So to love your neighbor as yourself, we must remember who our neighbors are. Okay, our neighbors, the same Israelites, the descendants of Israel, those people that are part of the 12 tribes that go through the same oppression as us, as you. That is your neighbor. It's not talking about these other nations and all these other customs and things that these people keep. Those are not your neighbors. Okay, your neighbors is another so-called Black, Latino, and Native American man going through the same oppression as you. in this land. So it says to love our neighbors. But first we must know what love is. All right. So we're gonna jump over to 1 John chapter 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Meaning, love is an action word. All right. To love something is to do. Okay. And how do we show God that we love him? All right. Let's read it again. The book of 1 John chapter 5 and 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So meaning it's not a hard thing to do to keep these commandments. By keeping these commandments, the Most High will show favor unto you. All right, because you're showing him that you love him by keeping these commandments. Okay, we're gonna stay in the book of 1 John. We're gonna go down to 4:20. Okay, the reason these are heavy scriptures, especially this week, after this week of brutality and mass killings in America, is because our I.S.U.P.K so-called Mexicans and Central American brothers and sisters are the ones that are being targeted and victimized by these acts of brutality against humanity. Man, it's just criminal acts, okay, carried out by the devil against us. Okay, so by us sticking together, it would prove so difficult, for them to encounter us, to even, come around where we are. Okay, and by us shopping at our own stores, let the money circulate in our own neighborhood, by us keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and coming back to the Most High. All right, he will put a barrier of protection around us. Okay, the devil wouldn't be able to walk in to a Walmart, where predominantly Latino population, they're shopping, school shopping, back to school shopping for their children. All right, this is just, a crime that's unimaginable, but that's the nature of the white man. And right now, our brothers and sisters need our love. So this is the point of the brotherhood lesson today. So in the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20, it says, if a man say, I love God, and hateth his neighbor, his brother, he is a liar. So if you say you love God, but you hate your brother, all right, you go to church every week, we're good Christians, we love our Jesus, but you could care less about what's going on the border to your brothers right now, you are a liar, man. You do not love God, okay? Because that's not showing love for your brother, and that's one of the greatest commandments that the Messiah gave us before he left, was to love our brothers. So this oppression that's going on with them on the border, all right, these internment camps almost, you know what I mean? They're putting our brothers and sisters in cages, starving them to death. They're going in Walmarts and just shooting up the joint because they know it's a predominantly Hispanic customer base in that store on that particular evening. That's just acts of violence against our people. So they need our love right now, okay? If a man say, I love God, and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God who he hath not seen? Okay, so it's almost, practicing, to love one another is practicing how to love the Most High. How can you say you love the Most High and you're such a good Christian, but you could care less what's going on with your own brothers and sisters? That's not love, man. You know what I mean? And verse 21 reads, and this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. Right? So the same love that you would show for the Most High, okay, that same dedication, we got to give that to our people. And by giving that to our people, we take that love away from the other nations. We strengthen ourselves, okay? The next, let's see, bear with me. The next scripture we're going to jump into is going to be Matthew 25 and verse 40. All right, 25 and verse 40. Okay, so we're in the book of Matthew, chapter 25 and verse 40, and it reads, "And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as ye have done it unto me, unto Salakia, unto one of the least of these brethren, ye have also done it unto me." Meaning that the smallest insult, man, the smallest disregard, that you would have for another brother, that's like you doing that to Christ. That's like you doing that to our King. Okay, um, it's a very important thing. All right, brotherhood is a very important thing. Here in this school, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, okay, under Commanding General Yohanna, we are taught brotherhood. All right, we are taught how to properly deal with our brothers. If there's ever, which rarely, but if there's ever any disagreements, okay, we the generals and the men above us, they offer us counsel, okay, wise counsel through the scriptures, all right, to help us hash out any disagreements without violence, without further uh, maliciousness in your heart, without having to carry any type of hatred towards that brother, okay. And if we implemented these steps, all right, in our lives, in our daily lives, we would have peace in our neighborhoods, peace in our communities, okay? The other nations, we wouldn't need to go to them for their police departments, who's brutalizing us. We wouldn't need to go to them for their courtrooms and courthouses. We wouldn't need to go to them for need of or want of anything, because you can lean on your brother, okay? That's the importance of these teachings, of this brotherhood lesson, is because without brotherhood, we fend for ourselves. We are weaker apart than we would be together. Okay. Um, so we're gonna go back to that. All right. So Matthew's 25 and 40. "And the king shall answer and say unto them." So this is Yahushua speaking unto them. "Verily, surely, I say unto you," he's instructing them, "insomuch as ye have done it unto the least of these brethren." So if you look at a brother, man, like he ain't nothing, man, that's like you looking at Yahushua like he ain't nothing, man. That's like you spitting in the face of Christ, man. All right, "Ye have done it unto me." Okay, so this is very serious business. All right, brotherhood is a serious topic. If we follow brotherhood, um, okay, we wouldn't have so much destruction in our communities, all right, because we would learn to love each other. And what happens to one tribe, it happens to all tribes, okay, and that would be a force, all right, just like the Asians, the Arabs, all the other nations, okay. I remember not too long ago, an Asian man was dragged off of, I believe, like a Delta Airlines or something like that, whatever it was, and the blowback from the Asian community was so heavy. They stick together. It was so heavy that they was switching flights. They was booking other flights. The United Airlines almost ran out of business. All right, there was no flights going to Beijing that day. Okay, and we have that same power in our communities. If we learn how to stick together, if we learn how to, have each other's backs almost. All right. The devil would think twice before walking into a bar or going to a festival or going to a Walmart or a mall or somewhere, the movie theaters, and lighting it up. Dylan Roof Storm walked into a black church and killed 9 black parishioners who welcomed him in because they were not showing brotherhood for their people, but they showed the devil brotherhood. And he repaid their brotherhood with an act of violence. Okay? That's not love. All right? So we're going to jump to the book of John, chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 34. All right, so this is John 13, and we're going to go to 34. And it reads, "A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another." Okay, so the same way the Most High has loved us, all right, he's commanding us to love one another in that same fashion. Earlier we read in 1 John 5 and 3, all right, that love is an action, Okay? So what action did Christ take to show us that he loved us? Christ came down and taught us to live perfectly. He instructed us in the word of the law. He was an example of us of how to live. Not only that, but Christ gave his own life for sins that he did not commit, for sins of our nation. Now that's love. That's the ultimate love, all right, a man could have, is to lay down his life for his brother. Okay? Now we're going to go back to that. This is John 13:34. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another. He's commanding us to love one another as I have loved you, that ye also love one another. Okay? He's saying the same way that he has loved us, all right, that we also have loved one to another. Okay? Now this is deep. The reason it's so deep is because instead of us killing each other, our own brothers and sisters, okay, if we practice this commandment right here, there will be no gang violence, there will be no drug violence, we wouldn't have 80% of the prison population, all right? We wouldn't be suffering some of the curses that we're going through just off this one simple commandment right here. Okay, you see how much can change just by following this one simple instruction. All right. Okay, now we're also going to go down to Matthew. We're going to skip back to Matthew 5 and verse 22. Okay, Matthew 5 and verse 22. All right. The reason this is so heavy is because right now there's a huge debate in America about white supremacy, white nationalism. They call it patriotism, but we know it really is. All the pickup trucks driving down the highway with the big flags and waving in the wind, the Confederacy and all that. We know what it is, okay? It's in every police department, in all the courthouses, in every Senate office, Congress, you name it. I mean, you can't get away from them. These people are all around us, okay? We interact with them within our daily lives, okay? On the job site, all right? On the work site, okay? Your foreman, he calls you, disparaging words and whatnot. What can you really do about it? All right? Because he knows you need this job. All right? I work construction. I'm my personal slave. Okay, and on the job site, it's nothing but I.S.U.P.K rights and ASHA rights and all my brothers and sisters, man. And the way, the way I look around and see us working so hard, okay. Meanwhile, the devil's off in a corner somewhere. Just, he's got his feet up, walking around the job site, inspecting. You know what I mean? And I realized, man, that we actually make this country go. We build the buildings. We create the creations, and we actually work the jobs. They would never work, at least not for the pay that we are paid, okay? These wages are an insult to our community, yet we contribute to over 60% of this nation's economy, all right? That's a heavy thing, considering that these people at the bottom, all right, actually make your country go, okay? And you chase them and run them out of here. You say that they're from shithole countries, okay? Meanwhile, these are the people, if these people were not breaking their back every single day, you wouldn't have an economy, all right? You wouldn't have a country, okay? That's how heavy these, brotherhood is. Because if we had that brotherhood towards ourselves, towards each other, we would have our own economy, our own country, all right? That's what Christ wants. He wants us to be separate, okay? So this is Matthew 5 and 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. Okay, so whosoever is angry with his brother without cause, meaning you might be jealous of the brother's new car. You might be, just angry because the brother, some brothers just get all that love in the hood, and some brothers are just, you know, uh, you might like the brother's woman, or just something crazy and stupid like that. You know what I mean? To carry jealousy in your heart against your brother, man, that's a sin. Okay, let's read it again. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. You shall be in danger of the judgment. What judgment is it talking about? The judgment of Revelations, man. When Christ will return, okay, with his angels and judge this earth and judge the wickedness of this earth. All right. And this is why we're sounding these warnings all across the country, with these classes, with these camp speakings on every street corner in America, okay? Because time is short, all right? The judgment is nearly here, all right? And we're trying to call our people back because the devil's revealing himself, all right, for what he really is. Whosoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. Rakah is an old word for like worthless, like saying to your brother, oh, you ain't ish, that's a sin, man. All right, we are not to downplay our brothers or put them down in any type of way. In fact, we are to do the opposite, to uplift that brother. Okay, if he needs a hand, all right, and you are able, that's your responsibility, man. Even though you've never seen him before in a day in your life, okay? But that is a brother, that is your blood, all right? But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire, man, okay? Meaning you won't make it that day when the missiles are raining down on this country, okay? So this is serious business, all right? The Most High is not playing around, okay? Christ is not playing around. The angels ain't playing around. We ain't playing around in this school. Under Commanding Gen.YAHANNA, all right? We go out here and war every weekend to try to raise our brothers' spirits, man, to try to raise their awareness, to try to teach them, okay? We know time is short, all right? So with that, we're going to go into the book of Luke. The book of Luke. So we're going to get chapter 6 and verse 31, all right? Chapter 6 and verse 31, all right? It says, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. Meaning, this is a very old term, okay? We've all heard this before. They've modernized it to say, do unto others as you would like done unto you. Treat other people the way you would want to be treated. You wouldn't want anybody to brutalize your children or to, steal money from you or to, sleep with your woman. Well, this is how we are to behave with each other, with our brethren, okay? We are not to commit these type of sins against our brothers, all right? Because that fosters hate. That fosters, when hate festers, it births violence, okay? We could, easily, pretty much not put ourselves in these type of situations, avoid these type of things just by following these simple commandments. Man, have love for your brother. Respect that is your brother's wife, okay? That is not your wife. That's not anything that you could, that's your brother's wife, man, okay? Respect the fact that this is your brother's business, okay? Have love for him, patronize his business rather than go get that hot plate from KFC and whatnot. Go get it from that sister store, man, or from her kitchen. Support black and brown and native businesses wherever you might find them. All right, that's one way we can help each other. Just grow this positivity, grow our community, grow our children. In the right like mind frame. Okay. Right. So It says, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise. So the same way that, if you were being attacked and harassed and your children were being persecuted and put into cages, you would want somebody to stick up for you and to stand up for you. And you would want to know, it would give you comfort to know that your brother, all right, is on the other side fighting for you. All right, your brother that you don't even know, he's fighting for you. Okay, so we got to give our people comfort, man, and just let them know that they're not in this alone. All right. And here in the School of Universal Practical Knowledge, all right, in the UPK, we teach brotherhood and we keep and practice brotherhood within ourselves as an example to our community of what is expected of us. Okay, Christ didn't put us here on this earth to be twerk queens and to be the best drug dealers and to be homosexuals and drug users and every which wickedness is going on. Okay, we are here to be a shining light to humanity, an example, all right, of righteousness. And there's nothing righteous, there's nothing more righteous, okay, than having love for your brother, for your family, okay, for your nation. That's one of the biggest commandments, all right. All right, so we're going to go down to John chapter 15. All right, so we're going to go to John. All right, we're going to go to John 15 and 12. All right, we're going to start at 12. And it reads, this is the book of John chapter 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Okay. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend. All right. So again, one of the biggest acts of love that this earth has ever witnessed, okay, was when Christ was crucified and persecuted, all right, for sins that he never committed. Okay, he was an innocent man. All right, he died for you. So by us having all this black on black violence in our communities, that's actually killing Christ all over again. By us being adulterers and whoremongers and homosexuals, that's spitting in Christ's face, man. Okay, something is expected of us. All right. 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do so whatsoever I command you. So it's telling us right here that we could be friends with God, man. What's a friend? A friend is somebody that you lean on and they lean on you as well. The Most High is looking to lean on us to know that we're going to follow these commandments. And by doing so, that's going to bring about change in our lives and our nation. Okay? He will show favor unto us. All right? If we do keep these commandments. Okay? But if not, man, there's going to be more Dylan Roof storms, more, uh, all these devils, man, that's committing these acts of violence, man, against our nation, okay? There's a big reason why these things are going on, and that's because we are not showing love towards our brother, all right? Now we're going to jump down to the book of Matthew, okay? Go back to Matthew. We're going to start at 18 and 21, all right? It's the book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter unto him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me? So pretty much, Peter's asking Christ, how often will a brother sin against me? All right, I let this brother borrow $50 last week. He said he paid me back on Friday. Okay, Friday comes. He didn't pay me back, but he, you know, didn't answer my calls and didn't, you know, like pretty much was ducking and dodging from me, man. You know, Christ, how long should I forgive this from the brother? Let's see what Christ's answer was. And for I forgive him till 7 times. And Christ said unto him, I say unto thee, until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. All right, until 70 times 7. And so what Christ is trying to say here is that there is no amount of times that your brother will sin against you, and it will be okay for you to harbor that within yourself. As Christ have forgiven our sins daily and yearly, I mean, none of us are worthy of this salvation. Okay, we are all dirty, being washed, being cleaned through Christ, through His Word, through these scriptures, to be reborn again, to live a new way. Until that brother gets himself right, we must always forgive that brother. Okay, and maybe he might stand up on his 2 feet. All right, and he might, you know, do the same for another brother, help get another brother right. Okay, so there's no amount of times that your brother will sin against you for you not to be able to forgive him. All right, that's an important scripture right there. Okay, we're also going to go to the book of Mark. This is a good one. The book of Mark. All right, this is Mark 12 and 31. Okay, Mark 12 and 31. I'm going to start at 29. Mark 12 and 29. And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is here. O Israel, the Lord our God is one. All right. And thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. Okay. And with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Okay. So the first commandment, the Most High is telling us that we must follow the commandments. To show the Lord our love is to keep these commandments and to do these actions which is required of us. Okay, that's the first commandment of all. All right, 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other greater commandment than these. Okay, so if we were showing love to our neighbors, all right, then they wouldn't walk into the white man's Walmart to be slaughtered. All right, they would go to a black man's store or another Israelite man's store or a Native American man's store and feel safe, be at home. They could patronize this store, all right, and money would stay in the community. We would have safety and you know, a form of economic prowess that would be unmatched by any other nation on the face of this earth. Mind you, we make all the other nations on the face of this earth rich with our labor, with our economic habits. Okay, everything that China's so rich because everything they make is so cheap. They send it over here, and we're buying it for top dollar. You know, Israel, we gotta look good. We gotta have all the name brand. You know, we can do that within ourselves, man. All right, these coons like Michael Jordan and all these guys, man. All right, where's that money going? Forever, we've been showing love to these athletes and all of these, you know, stars and whatnot. How are they showing love to you? Okay, that's not love, man. All right, by allowing a black man to kill another black man for these Jordans, which would cost $200. You know, selling drugs just to even come up with the money to get the Jordans, and then going to jail to some private prison which Michael Jordan invests in. How is that love for your brother? That's not love, man. By showing love to our brothers, they would have never been able to walk into that Walmart to be slaughtered because they would have shopped at a black or Latino or Native American store. All right? All these things that are going on in the world today. Over here, I have a list of current events. I'd like to read some for you. Just a few current events which took place within the last week and a half or so. All right. It says Gilroy shooting. A mass shooting occurred at the Gilroy Garlic Festival in Gilroy, California on July 28, 2019 at 5:40 p.m., resulting in 4 deaths, including a gunman, and injured 13 people. Santino William Legan, age 29, walked in with a rifle to this festival, all right? He killed 3 others and injured 13 before him himself was gunned down by the police, okay? It's just one incident. Next, we've got the El Paso, Texas mass shooting. A mass shooting occurred at a Walmart store in El Paso, Texas on the morning of August 3rd, 2019. It's just a couple of days, apart from the California event. A lone gunman, Patrick Wood Crucius, age 21, killed 22 people and injured 24 others before being taken into custody. So this guy actually walked out of that place, man. I remember there was a story back, the brother's name slips me right now, but he was actually looking around the Walmart to purchase a legal rifle. And some Caucasian was so terrified at the sight with a brother with a rifle in his hand, actually called the police. The police killed that brother who was looking to purchase a legal rifle. No charges were ever held against that cop because they naturally feared for their life. But this Crucius was able to walk into a Walmart store, gun down over 50 people, and he actually left alive, which is beyond me. Alright, so we've got even yet another event, right? This is in Dayton, Ohio, on August 4th, 2019. So this was just a day apart from the El Paso event. 10 people were killed, including the perpetrator and his sister, and 27 others were injured. Connor Stephen Betts, 24, walked into a bar in Dayton, Ohio, slaughtered 10 people and injured 27 others, including his sister. Killed his sister before he was eventually taken out by the cops. Now, these events, all right, which we're chronicling, it is because of a lack of order in our nation. By us being able to keep these laws, it would effectively keep our families safe from these killings, these shootings, okay? We wouldn't have to worry about, going to a store to shop and then, just being murdered, okay? So Mark 12:31 reads, and the second commandment is like naming this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. By loving our neighbor, okay? Last week in Mississippi, a day after these horrible shootings, the largest ever mass immigration event took place in American soil, where the ICE agents walked into a food processing plant in Mississippi and arrested over 700 innocent men and women at work as they were performing their duties on the job site that day. Okay, shut the plant down for the rest of the day, rest of the week, whoever knows how long. All right, those people's children came out of school that day, and mommy and daddy weren't there. They had to learn the horrible news that DHS and Child Protection Services were waiting for them. Now, if that's not, persecution and curses of Deuteronomy playing itself out, I don't know what is, man. All right, so we were told that If we didn't keep these curses, Moses said what would happen. But let's not forget, he also taught us what would happen if we did keep the curses. And it's not too late. All right, it's not too late to turn your life around. All right, to come back to the Lord, to start following these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, and to be reborn, to be renewed. All right, as a soldier and a warrior for Christ in your everyday life. We're not asking you to pick up any arms, any, to go out and make war with. No, we're asking you to keep these commandments and let God Himself avenge you. All right, because all these crimes that are happening, all right, the Lord has a warrant out for the white man's arrest. All right, for the white man's destruction. Okay, He just doesn't want to get you in the process. All right, come away from this society. Okay, it's time for us to separate ourselves. Okay, time is short. All right, or else we are in danger of the judgment, man. Okay, and with that, I'm going to conclude the class. Okay, with the I.S.U.P.K. coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Okay, under Commanding General Yohanna. All right, we've been dropping this truth since 1969. All right, that you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the children of Israel, and it's time for you to come home, come back, and keep these commandments. Okay, come to class. We offer counseling. We out on the street corners every week at camp. All right, and with that, say shalom.
We want no cowards in our camp, holy man.